Hey everyone, welcome. Have you ever thought about buying a house and just felt completely lost? Like the whole process feels like a giant confusing mystery? Well, today we're going to demystify all of it. And we're going to do it by following the journey of one very determined raccoon on his quest for a home. It's a tale of finance, a whole lot of fees, and
Let's meet our hero. This is Raccoon. He's a pretty simple guy, His dreams mostly involve shiny objects, maybe some leftover pizza, and the undeniable luxury of a really well-stocked trash can. But lately, something's been stirring in his little raccoon heart. A new dream. Something bigger. So what on earth does Raccoon want?
that's it. His very own home. A place to call his own. A sanctuary. Basically, a permanent, glorious trash can. A home sweet bin, you could say. But yeah, how does a regular, everyday raccoon even begin to make that happen?
Okay, so Raccoon starts weighing his options. As he sees it, there are a few different paths that could lead him to his dream home. It's time to figure out which one to take. All right, path number one. Just, be incredibly rich. Unfortunately, his pile of shiny bottle caps doesn't quite count. Path two, inherit the family burrow. Also not going to work. His parents are doing just fine, thank you very much. Which leaves him with only one real option. Path number three, the mortgage.
And just like that, Raccoon's real adventure begins. He's decided to take the road most traveled to home ownership, a path that's paved with a ton of paperwork, visits to the bank, and so many numbers. So, what even is a mortgage? Let's break it down. It's basically a massive loan that a bank gives you for one specific purpose, buying a house. You get all the cash up front to buy the place, and then you spend the next couple of decades, usually 15 to 30 years, paying it all back in smaller chunks. Now, you can't just walk into the Raccoon Bank and expect him to hand over a giant sack of cash. No. They need to be sure you're a safe bet. So they're going to check for three main things: a steady job, a good credit score, which just shows you're reliable with paying your debts, and of course that you've saved enough leaves for a deposit.
And how many leaves are we talking about here? Well, typically, a bank wants to see that you can pay for about 10 to 20% of the house's total price, right at the very beginning.
This chunk of change is called the deposit, or the down payment. Think of it as your skin in the game. It proves to the bank that you're serious and that you're financially responsible enough to take on this huge commitment. So if the house costs $1 million leaves, Raccoon needs to have at least $100,000 ready to go.
With his pre-approval from the bank clutched in his paw, Raccoon is finally ready for the exciting part, the great jungle house hunt. But he's about to find out that, it's a real jungle out there.
Man, he sees some rough places. Houses in terrible spots. Houses that look like they're one gust of wind away from collapsing. But then, after a long, exhausting search, he sees it. Glistening, perfectly curved, one of a kind. The perfect banana house.
But, there's a catch. He is not the only raccoon who wants this place. The market is fierce. It often comes down to this crazy bidding war, with raccoons just shouting out higher and higher offers until only one is left. It is intense. Okay, so after winning the bid, Raccoon has another big choice to make. What kind of interest rate does he want? There are two main types. You've got your fixed rate. This one stays the same for the entire loan, predictable and steady, kind of like a raccoon's undying love for snacks. Then there's the adjustable rate. This one, it goes up and down with the market, a bit like a raccoon in an elevator. It can be a real roller coaster.
So Raccoon has the keys to his banana. He's over the moon, but just when he thinks he's finally crossed the finish line, bam, a giant mountain appears out of nowhere. A mountain made entirely of fees, all bundled together under one scary name: closing costs.
This part is so overwhelming, there's really only one way to process it. Raccoon calls up his buddy and says, "Trashy Kong, give me a beat." All right, here we go. You got the application fee just to see if you can pay. The appraisal fee is the house worth the leaves today. Inspection fee, making sure there's no termites in your space. The origination fee, that's the bank's little slice so the deal don't bust. And the credit report fee for checking your financial past.
But hold on, because we ain't done. Title search, to make sure no old owner comes back for fun. Lawyer fees, for all the government deeds. Transfer tax, where the government takes a bite. Mortgage insurance, if your deposit was a little light. And all that together? Those are the closing costs, the very last fees before you get the keys.
Wow. That is a lot of fees. But with all the papers finally signed and the fees paid, Raccoon is officially a homeowner. So, what's this new reality really like?
Well, let's start with the good stuff. The big pro of a mortgage is you can buy a home without having a million leaves just sitting in the bank. Every payment you make helps build up your credit score, which is great. Plus, the value of your banana house could actually go up over time, meaning you might make a profit if you sell. And hey, if things get a little tight, you can always rent out a room.
But there is a much darker side to all this. The word mortgage actually comes from Old French, and its literal translation is death pledge. A pledge that only ends when the loan is fully paid off, or, when you die.
So this death pledge, it's got some pretty serious downsides. For one, you're going to be in debt for a long time. And thanks to interest, you end up paying back way more money than the house was even worth in the first place. But the biggest risk of all, if for some reason you can't make your payments, the bank can take your house back.
Okay, so Raccoon gets it. It's a massive, risky commitment. But he's feeling brave, he's ready. He thinks to himself, okay, it's tough, but people do this all the time. How hard can it really be in today's housing market? So he decides to take a quick peek at the current situation.
And yep, that is a feeling I think a lot of us can probably relate to right now. The path to owning a home is a wild ride, for sure, but understanding how it works is the first most important step. So is the death pledge worth it for your own perfect banana house? Well, that's a question only you can answer.